We've had some pretty warm nights this summer. Some might even call the low of 81 back on July 5th in Philadelphia obnoxious. Well then, how do you feel about a low of 107 in Death Valley, California back on July 12th, tying a location in the Middle Eastern desert nation of Oman for the highest low temperature recorded in the world this year. And by day as well, there's no arguing that Death Valley is the hottest observing site in the United States. I looked back at June, July, and August from 2006 to 2010 to see where in the nation the highest temperature was observed each day. Now, the three most common places were Death Valley, Bullhead City, Arizona, and Wink, Texas. Well, out of 460 total days, Death Valley was hottest on almost 390. That's about 85% of the time. Nowhere else was even close. Here's the average monthly highs in Death Valley from April to October. The peak is in July, above 115, and the average is above 100 even into September. By the way, the average low in June, July, and August in Death Valley is above 80. Death Valley is part of the largest national park in the lower 48 states, spread over 3 million acres along the California-Nevada border. Now, the valley is tucked between mountain ranges on the northern fringes of the Mojave Desert. To the east of the valley, there's the Amargosa Range. The Panamint Mountains, 10,000-foot peaks, are to the west. Also, the Argus Mountains and the Sierra Nevadas farther west, all barriers to Pacific moisture. In fact, just about any way that the wind blows, it has to cross and then descend tall mountains to reach Death Valley, and air warms up and dries out as it comes down. This rain shadowing effect makes Death Valley one of the driest official observing sites in the United States, with average annual rainfall around 2¼ inches. The wettest months on average are January and February, with more than 1/3 of an inch, if you can call that wet. Every few winters, however, Pacific storms dump an inch or two of rain, and then the valley doesn't look like a desert at all. Death Valley is between 6 and 13 miles wide and about 130 miles long. It was named by a group of lost miners in 1849 who were looking for a shortcut to the California gold mines and got stuck in the valley for weeks. About 500 square miles of the valley are below sea level. That's the area shaded in gray here. The first consistent weather observations there were taken at the aptly named Furnace Creek weather station in 1891. That's where the record U.S. high temperature of 134 was measured. The lowest elevation in the United States is a little farther south at Badwater, 282 feet below sea level. Legend has it that a visitor once said to a Death Valley park ranger, "It's not so hot here. Where we live, we can put a frying pan out in the sun on a hot summer day, crack an egg, and fry it right up." To which the park ranger supposedly replied, "We can do the same thing here, only we do it in the shade." Paul Knight will be back next with the extended forecast.